If you ever wanted a good example of why the film and TV industry is in the state it's in, Madam Web is a fantastic example. I've been saying this ever since the controversial Sonic character revealed during that trailer all those years ago. Studio executives are kind of really fucking stupid. They have massive egos. They are so out of touch with current things and really go after what they think are trends, and they have gone so long with no one ever telling them no that you get calamitous disasters like Madam Web. I'm wrapping up the end of the year, and I knew I couldn't go this year without seeing this movie considering everything I've heard about it. It is just as bad as everyone says it is. The ADR is terrible and incredibly quick to notice. Really strange and very obvious reshoots, with the first one with her mom being bit by the spider, killed by random ADR bad guy, and then finding the tribes people of the land, had this weird office style zoom that never comes back again throughout the entire movie. You have Dakota Johnson, who is literally sleepwalking through this entire movie. I've never truly seen her show much talent through her career. Here, it is so evident that she is there for the paycheck. I will give her credit though, she was mad trolling during a lot of those interviews, but nowhere near to the extent that Sony was, where they were telling the actresses, Sydney Sweeney and a bunch, that they were going to be part of the Marvel universe, despite that being a clear lie. And then there's also these reports that have come out recently where they swear up and down that Morbius was a financial success, despite the fact that they let the internet fucking troll them and convince them to re-release it. They also apparently had the ability to use Spider-Man in all of their shitty Sinister Six movies, but I kind of wonder if RVI Red didn't want to do that because he wanted all the money. You have all of these movies that went out of their way to try and say with great power comes great responsibility, to the point where they change it up into a means that completely misunderstands the meaning of what Uncle Ben told Peter Parker. When you take on the responsibility, great power will come. That's not the line. The CG in this movie is awful. The technical aspects of this movie are pretty bad. There's some interesting choreography with camera work. I'm not going to deny that. S.J. Clarkson proved that she could do that stuff when she was working on shows like Jessica Jones and The Defenders. I like the work she did in Jessica Jones particularly, but she just got completely fucking railroaded in this movie. And it's not entirely not her fault either. Definitely Sony was in on this and ruining it just like they ruined The Amazing Spider-Man, but she also does have writing credits in here. She did go out and defend the movie very poorly. Everyone was here for a paycheck and the falsehood of anything to come further. No one really does a good job in this movie. The best example I have for a portrayal of acting in this movie is Adam Scott being himself. The direction for the three girls that Dakota Johnson is tasked very poorly with protecting, they all suck. Sydney's not good. The other two aren't good. They're given terrible characters. You don't care for any of them. You absolutely despise Dakota Johnson's character. The bad ADR villain guy, you don't know much about him other than that you know he will die because of these ladies, and he can't let that happen. But we're gonna put him in this alternate Spider-Man outfit because this movie just exudes bad executive decision making, and no one, absolutely no one telling any of these twats no, or that's a bad idea, or maybe we should try that a different way. This is something I have said about the industry for a while. There are so many people in higher up positions who have kissed their ass on the way to get up there, and they haven't been told no. And it's not like people don't want to tell them no. It's more so that if they do, they're at risk of being fired, because that's how this fucking industry works. It's idiocy like this that create this fucking absolute disaster that is this Sony universe shit, that they at least have the sense to admit, yeah, we fucked up. It sucks. I can't say that I can't believe that this movie came out, because I can, especially with Sony. Sony has just gone out of their way to shit the bed for years. It can't be said that Ari didn't do some things to get the ball rolling with superhero movies. He still is behind a lot of the work with the Blade and the original Spider-Man movies. The guy has absolutely, completely, utterly run his course, and he needs to leave the fucking building. In the end, Madam Web is absolutely not worth your time. If you want something to laugh at badly, but more so probably be bored and look at your phone the entire time, that's Madam Web. I feel bad for everyone who went and saw this movie in theaters. I am at least happy that Craven has a higher rating than this movie, because while Craven does look bad, at least it looks kind of entertaining. This movie was never entertaining to me. The only time that I was kind of really zoned into it was just to see how bad the ADR was in certain situations. In the end, I'm going to give Madam Web a 1 out of 7. This is definitely one of the worst of the year. And Sony and every creative head attached to this movie should be absolutely ashamed that they made this film. I don't know if S.J. Clarkson's career is ever going to come back from this. And I feel kind of bad about that. Remember, this is the video that started all that discourse about Chris Stuckman. Chris was maybe really kind of changing his ways, and some people didn't enjoy that, didn't like that idea. That is what this movie represents to me more than anything that Sony has tried to make it seem. That's embarrassing. Anyways, that's all for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, and if you're interested in more, subscribe. We've got only, like, man, we're already halfway through the month. I'll be doing my top best and worst soon, but I still will have a few other movies that I want to try and see before. As always, it'll come down to the end of the wire for me, probably just the very end of the year. Either way, guys, hope you're having a good day. Hope you're getting ready for the holidays, and I will see you guys on the next one.